Hey, it's your girl Side Speaks. Welcome to another episode of Disability is Not an Inability. This podcast is simply for those who are battling a chronic illness of any magnitude. It is my desire to share resources and to remind you how phenomenal and amazing you are, no matter what you are facing health wise. I think when we are diagnosed with a chronic illness, sometimes we have given it so much power over our lives that we have stopped living and thriving and being who we're supposed to be. And I simply want to remind you that that doesn't have to be your story, that doesn't have to be the case. We are truly some wonderful and remarkable people, and we have so much life to live. And today, if you allow me, I just want to share, um, what's been on my heart and how I've been handling what's going on in the world today. So, the title of this episode for Disability is Not an Inability is Panic in a Pandemic and in the Face of Racial Tension. Now, we are living in such a peculiar time. I can't speak for anyone else, but I know for myself, like right now, it just seems like we are living in an episode of Game of Thrones, or we woke up in the Twilight Zone. It's just not normal and it's not natural, and everything that's happening and playing out can be so taxing and heavy on your heart and your spirit, and then that can weigh heavy on those of us who are battling a chronic illness, right? That can further break down our immune systems and our defenses and just leave us open to praise, predators, and anything that's just seeking to rob us of our peace, our sanity, and our strength and our power. So I want to deal with the fact that I am noticing an increase, a rise of people using fear tactics during this time, and they're, aiming their intentions toward those of us who are battling a chronic illness. Personally, I am a kidney disease warrior. I am dealing with end-stage renal failure, and I'm on dialysis and I'm waiting for a kidney transplant. So life as I knew it when I was considered healthy and in peak of health, I am now faced with a new normal. I still like to believe I'm overall healthy. I just need a kidney. One thing that has helped me so much on this journey to stay encouraged and thriving and living life on purpose is my mindset has been that even though I'm battling this journey, that's not the end of my story, and it's not my whole story. I'm so much more than a person battling a chronic illness. But nonetheless, I'm watching people use this as an opportunity, what's going on with COVID-19, to prey upon those of us who are dealing with kidney disease. I don't know about any other chronic warriors. If you're finding that this is something happening with you too, please comment so we can know. But I'm watching people scare people who are dealing with kidney disease. They're like, we need to go after DaVita and Fresenius and all these other big businesses and Pharmacia because, they're just evil and wicked. And let's be clear, I'm not Team DaVita, Fresenius, or any other of these companies because they do get paid off of us not being well. But I don't want us to ever get to the point where, one, we're not responsible and taking advantage of our own part we play in our well-being and our health. Yes, there are predators in every walk of life. They're going to find ways to monopolize and monetize and get paid off of anything. But let's deal with the elephant in the room, right? I know for a fact I've seen a rise in dialysis centers built everywhere I go. I can look anywhere, and I can guarantee I'm going to find a dialysis center. Now, um, if you haven't noticed, I'm a Black woman. So there is an influx and an increase of dialysis centers being built in African American communities and communities that is heavy with people of color. And it's no secret, it's because hypertension and diabetes is a rise amongst people of color, particularly Black people. But before we use fear, anger, and ignorance to get people to be mad at Davita and Fresenius, let's deal with the fact that we got to be responsible with how and what we eat, right? Davita and Fresenius didn't make us eat a whole bunch of fried chicken and any other foods that we know if you eat in excess, it's just harmful for your body. Let's acknowledge the fact that we play a big part, the main part in our health and our overall well-being. So before we go after these big companies that are predators on people being ill, let's start with the fact that we need to equip and educate ourselves about healthy eating practices. Standing up and using our voices. We spend so much money on so many things in this economy. If you're not satisfied with what's in your neighborhood, then pull your money back. Start your own business. Pull your resources together and fight to get or even build healthier alternatives. We're upset that dialysis centers are popping up all over our communities. Absolutely. But be upset enough to say, you know what, I need to stop feeding the big fat hog that's getting rich and paid off of my illness. Yes, Davita and Fresenius, shame on you for capitalizing on the ignorance and the recklessness of people in their eating habits. But we can't put all the blame on them. We have to be held accountable for our own well-being. And to people out there that are claiming they are advocates for kidney warriors, and all you're spewing is hatred and ignorance and down with Davita and Fresenius and not acknowledging that we need to say no. Let's get it together with exercising and eating right and drinking water. And okay, we want to indulge a little bit, but have some self-control and let's do this in moderation. Don't prey on an already weakened system. If you truly are about empowering the people and doing what is right, then start from the foundation. There would be no Davita and Fresenius if we knew how to eat to live. We have so much stuff psychologically that we have to deal with that's greater than a Davita and Fresenius. Now, yes, there is a point that is coming when we need to say, okay, I see you. You will no longer ride my back to prosperity. But we have to make sure our backs are not bent for them to get on and ride us like a mule. So let's think smart and healthy ways to help ourselves. Now, everybody who's dealing with kidney disease or some illness, it's not because of any negligence of their own. Just sometimes genetic dispositions put you in a weaker situation, and that's unfortunate. So I'm not placing blame, but what I'm saying is there's still a responsibility to each one of us to make sure that we are healthy and we are whole. And we can't keep casting the blame on other people. Or we can't keep saying, it's your fault, you did this to me, and we don't rise up and do better for ourselves. Now, I'm well aware that things were not set up favorably for people of color. So we've had to deal with inferior everything since we've been here in the United States of America. That's no secret. But at what point do we stop and say, you know what? I can do better for myself. I acknowledge that this system is broken and it's not for me. But what can I do to change it? Where's my power? Where's my voice? I'm no longer just going to sit idly and let life happen to me, but I'm going to get in the game and make life happen for me. So, to you predators out there, I'm watching you and I'm seeing you, and you're using COVID-19 and this racial unrest as an opportunity to just make it seem like this is the time to rise up and just say, you're this and you're that. And granted, they are. But without any self-inspection, without any self-care and self-work, that's very reckless and irresponsible. And I was like, I can't just be quiet. I just can't act like I'm not seeing people pray on the fact that we're battling a chronic illness. And it's scary for us. If you're battling a chronic illness, these times can be just dangerous for us. Just being outside poses such a serious health risk. So we understand that. But we also have to understand that we can't live in fear, and we can't allow people's fear and ignorance to form us and be the foundation and cause us to live in that box. When you see something that's wrong, say something. Not filled with just emotional rage and anger. Have your work laid out. How are you going to change it? Believe it or not, you have a sphere of influence with somebody that you can make a difference. Sometimes we're so concerned about making the big impact that we forget that there are people so close to us who are watching what we're saying and what we're doing. Now, it's no secret, if you've ever spent any time with me by watching my videos, even in person, I'm a very passionate person about the things I believe, and I will go all in. But please know, before I go all in, I did my research, I did the work, and I'm looking and providing a solution. I don't want to just be the person that keeps pointing out the problem and don't have a solution that is attainable for me and those connected to me. When I set out to be a kidney patient advocate, I was so committed that I wasn't just going to get up here and appeal to your emotions. I was going to come to you with resources, stuff that I have tried, that I know that work. And when I've done something that worked in the beginning and it shifted along the way, I've come back and said, hey, it no longer works. So I will never come before you with fear. I will not point out to you only the negative of what's pertaining to our situation without providing a glimpse of hope. So if you're supporting and following somebody that all they do is point out the dread and the negative, be careful, because that is poison to your spirit, and that's so detrimental to your well-being. Yes, if you're like me and you're a kidney disease warrior, these dialysis centers are not our friends. So right now, we have to work with what's working. That's why I'm always a big advocate of being your own advocate. Don't ever choose a treatment or go into treatment blindly just based on what my doctor said, because they will apply a cookie cutter approach to your well-being, but you're a designer original. So you can never let your doctor, no matter how loving and wonderful and knowledgeable he or she may be, they still have to be team you. They can have a framework, but they still have to find a way. How do you fit in that framework? How did it work for you? And you have to be willing to speak up and use your voice when it's not working. It's not being cantankerous, it's not being antagonistic, and it's not being just a thorn in their side. You just are your best and biggest advocate, and you know what works best for you. So you got to speak up. Don't just ride this ride called life. Get in the game and live it. So don't allow what you see happening in this world to cause you to be stagnant and silent. Even on those days when you don't feel so effervescent, because I never claim sickness, those days you don't feel so effervescent, you still are a valuable resource to somebody, if nobody else to yourself. So do your research, do your work, and find out what works for you, but also find out how you can be a blessing to people in your circle. If people just realize, if they just work their circle, you can expand your reach, because each one teaches and reaches one. And that's all it is. No fear, no ignorance. If you don't know and you're not certain, go to more than one credible source, right? One voice, including my own voice. I'm not the only voice on this journey. But one thing I am, I'm not just passionate, but I'm knowledgeable, and I'm living what I'm saying. It's not just something that I figure that I can get paid off of. I can get followers, clicks, likes, and loves and hearts. That's not what this is about. I am Side Speaks, and I am a kidney warrior. I live this very journey that my fellow kidney warriors are living. It's not easy. And some days it is so overwhelming. You can't tell by looking at me right now, but I'm dealing with a new symptom that is so painful that I have not slept. I'm going on almost 24 hours of being awake because I'm in so much pain. But nevertheless, I still got work to do. There's still people that need to know that we still count, and we still have so much to offer. So what are you doing with your influence? And yes, you do have influence with someone. Someone is watching your life. You're someone's walking Bible. You're someone's living testimony. They are looking to see you. Now, I'm a Christian. I don't hide that. I don't sugarcoat that. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I claim him everywhere I go. But that does not mean I have the comfort of hiding behind the cross and not speak up when injustice is happening around me. That's from people preying on those who are sick and those that have beaten us because we're Black. There's no comfort in any of that. And I would be remiss if I just said, well, God bless you, or I'm too sick to get involved. That's the easy way out. And I've never taken that. So what I want you to do, I want you to dig deep. Are you living your best life? Are you being true to yourself? There's someone, you included, that needs what you have to offer. You are a valuable resource. So don't let anybody prey on you. Don't let anybody take your fears and use them as a weapon against you to silence or complacency because you're fearful. And just because you like somebody doesn't mean their message is that of hope and unification or even edification and empowerment for your situation. Don't listen with just your emotions. Be mindful and wise in all things. So be mindful and be watchful for predators in this hour, because they're out there. Some of them are dressed up all sweet and kind, and some are so passionate and I'm on your side. I'm part of your journey. And they're not. They can just be bitter about something that happened in this vein, and they're using it to their advantage. My grandmother used to always tell me, Terrell, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Take what you need, take what works for you, take what is beneficial and healthy for you, and reject everything else that disrupts and robs you of your peace and causes you to shift in a manner that's not in your best interest. And here's another thing. Just because you're battling a chronic illness and you see a warrior or somebody who's a caregiver and they're very vocal and you like them, doesn't mean you have to support what they're saying. You can still like and love someone and not agree 100% with what he or she is saying. There's maturity in that. But be free to speak your truth. And if you're a Black person in the United States, there's no way we are resting with what's going on right now. And I get it. All lives matter, right? People love to say that. But somehow that doesn't include Black lives. And that's what we're fighting against. It's not that we're anti-Trump and we're anti-white. No, we're just pro-Black. And we just need our fellow brothers and sisters to allow us the same freedom to want to see our lives saved and preserved too. That doesn't mean we hate anybody else. We're just saying if all lives truly matter, then stand with us. Don't let us keep dying senselessly. And for you that may say, but the people that died was doing something wrong. Now, I'm not celebrating if someone is breaking the law. I don't care what color you are. We are to follow the laws of the land, period. But we have a judicial system in place, a law enforcement system in place that's supposed to deal with that. Death is not supposed to be the answer. Are you not concerned and tired of seeing people that look like me, no matter what the crime is, or not even a crime involved, being killed? But anybody else of a different ethnicity can do some just heinous crimes, and they still manage to make it out alive. Where's the justice in that? Where's the compassion in that? So I'm saying, you want to stand on all lives matter? So do I. But I can't stand on that until Black lives matter too. It's your girl, Cy Speaks. And I love you all. I really do. And my heart is so heavy. And I'm not going to lie, this has taken a toll on me physically, but I refuse to be silent and to be quiet and to be passive. I will be equipped, I will be educated, and I will be empowered. And I will continue to share with you resources so you can live in that same vein. You are needed. You are valuable. Your voice matters. Speak up and speak out. We need you. We need each other. God bless you.